Hey, how's it going? Steve Zelnardo here with Remax Experts, Zelnardo Associates. Just a real quick update on the market. Current inventory, we're down actually 15,745 units, down from 16,200 units from last week, and 700 sold. So solds are down just a bit, but the inventories come down, which is fantastic. That'll obviously give buyers less choices and ultimately giving our sellers a better chance to sell. That's just how that works out. What we're seeing now in the market, even over the weekend, we did some major price adjustments on properties, and then we started getting showings again. It's like almost magic. We had one property that wasn't getting showings for probably about it was sporadic. Every 2 to 3 weeks we'd get a showing, and then once we adjusted the price more in line with the actual value of the area, we got 6 showings over the weekend. I talked to 2 of those agents. It looks like we potentially have an offer to work with this week, which is great. We had another property which is quite interesting that we sold firm over the weekend. It was a property that we couldn't get done. It was a condominium, and it had like an issue with the financials, like the actual financials of the property, the condominium. They didn't have much money in the reserve fund. So what was happening is we would sell the property, and then it would always fall through on a solicitor's review, or the mortgage agent would review all the numbers. It didn't work out because of just the amount of condo expenses per month offset the affordability of the buyers. So we sold it 3 times. We got to the tail end of the listing, or the listing agreement rather, and then we were going to go our separate ways because it was an unsaleable property. Cool thing is that we had, as soon as it came off the market, we suspended the listing. We had calls right away from a few agents that showed in the past that showed some interest. What happens is we go into a sort of a bidding war, and we get a firm offer, waived all conditions, solicitor review, they reviewed, but they waived financing and inspection, all that, and we got a firm deal done over the weekend. So imagine that. So it took like 3+ months to get it to a point where we're gonna part ways, because ultimately we can't sell it. It's at this point we just lease it out and hold it for a few more years, and then we get it sold firm. So it was pretty awesome. Offers on other properties are big listings. Again, we got another buyer at play coming in quite low, but we'll see what's going to work out with that. We're gonna work it out a little bit harder here to get a deal done. I want to talk about absorption rate too, because we're starting to get into this. This is probably very important going forward, and this is like my temperature game between the inventory, amount of inventory selling. It's basically giving us sort of an absorption rate, just not really giving us the numbers of months of inventory left. So we're just breaking them down weekly, just to kind of get an idea, kind of keep my finger on the pulse of how this market's going. Let's talk about Kleinburg. So Kleinburg, obviously, this is a micro version of absorption rate, because I'm going to show you a different program that we have, but it's more of like a grand area, so it'll only go into regions. So it'll be city of Vaughan rather, but it won't break it down into micro forms. So it always gives us a different number. But I want to break it down into areas that we're selling. We have listings in. For example, Kleinburg right now, we have literally 5.8 months of inventory. It's probably one of the highest I've seen so far through our research, and that's because a lot of the new constructions hit the market. And people are just selling now. We've had a few calls there that people that purchased properties a year or 2 ago are closing now, and just doesn't make sense to hold on to it. Some of them were like 3.2 to 3.5 million, and now they're appraising maybe 3 million or 2.9 million. So they're in a pickle right now. Do they hold the property? Do they sell it? Do they rent it? Some people that we spoke to are renting them out, or trying to at that best, and asking $10,000-$11,000 per month for rent in Kleinburg. It's quite extensive, right? I know the houses are quite large. They're like 5,000 plus square footage, but it's $11,000 a month to live in New Kleinburg. So I don't know how that's going to work out. We're going to follow that too. Next region we looked at was Bolton. Bolton's got 2.7 months of inventory, so that's still pretty decent compared to what I'm seeing here. Alliston, we have 3.8 months of inventory, and then we get into Toronto. I just picked up a random place in Toronto, just Keele and Eglinton. It's just W3 in the way we look at it, the boundaries, and they got 3.14 months of inventory. So still in Toronto, they're having 3 months of supply currently on the market, which obviously that's taking us longer to sell properties. Let's take a look at this program I was talking about, what we have. So if we let's go back to 2021. This is obviously COVID business. If you kind of look at just Caledon, so Caledon as the whole rather than say Bolton, we had literally total 1 month of inventory. So you kind of see that. Then we fast forward to September of 22. Remember, the markets already gave out. We had a huge, obviously the market kind of collapsed at this point. We had a 30% up and 30% down. So let's see how this looks. And this should have like a lot of inventory. So you kind of see now, Caledon had 4 months of inventory. And then today we had 2.7 months just in Bolton. I should do like probably a whole region to kind of get a better idea. But let's just say Bolton's doing a lot better than last September, currently right now, in the way we were measuring the absorption rate and the month of inventory that's currently on the market. Yeah, that's pretty much it. If you guys have any questions regarding properties that you want to get on the market, get sold prior to, let's say, the fall time, please, give us a call. We'll be happy to help. We're actually rolling out new programs going forward. Like I said, we were in a deep mastermind in August, and we're basically overlapping different programs to different situations. We're getting a lot of calls for affordability, people wanting to downsize just because of quality of life. They're not. It's not all cut out to what it was supposed to be, where you're living in a particular area paying high mortgage because of these rates, and obviously we have no relief going forward with rates, because I still feel September 6th is going to be a price or a policy rate increase rather, that's going to create more unaffordability. So what we're having as clients is basically selling out of areas closer to the city, and then just moving 20 minutes north, east, or west, and they're saving $200,000, $300,000, $400,000. And what they're doing with that is either they're going to be downsizing, or downsizing, taking $300,000 to $400,000 off the market, or or out of the market rather, to pay off debt, or they're basically equalizing. So whatever property they have in the particular area that they have, they just kind of simulate that same property in a different area, and still put about $150,000 to $200,000 away. Or some of them are upsizing. They're basically selling a product for, let's say, $1.4 million. They're getting into same product for $1.4 million, but it's an additional 800 to 1,000 square feet. So it's we're having a lot of movement right now. That's what we're seeing now. This is a new trend for us. We'll see how long it carries on into the new year, obviously. And that's it. Have a great day, guys. We'll chat soon.